the Dorton and Doetkott Debate Podcast. I am Lucas Dorton. That is not Nick Doetkott. I repeat, that is not Nick Doetkott. Obviously, I'm sure you could probably tell by now, but this is Tyler Rogers joining the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Sugar Show, not Sean O'Malley, Tyler Rogers, even better. Man,
Thank
how
you.
we doing?
We're doing fantastic. It's great to be here. It's an honor to be here, and we are days away from football.
We're days away from football. You're a big sports guy, big football guy, big hockey guy. Hockey guy, got to talk about the lettuce. Walk us through the lettuce a little bit. I know you've always kind of been the slick back hair kind of guy. You know, went a little bit of the the big lettuce guy. So what was the hair design choice in that, walking through that thought process?
Well, today, it was a hat day, so
Sure.
we got to get the plug in MSU hockey.
Yep.
But hockey season's coming up,
Yep.
and yeah, it's subpar right now, but we're getting there.
Well, it's not too difficult to look better. I'm not doing a whole lot here. I've had better hair days. I've had far better hair days. So you're already doing much better than Nick or I would as well, too. So anyways, so we're going to dive into it a little bit here. But first, to get to know you a little bit more, tell us a little bit about your football fandom. Who is your team and why is that your team?
Well, it is the New England Patriots. Whoa! Before we say whoa, this is about my father. He became a fan in 1994. I was born in 1999, so growing up, it was Patriots, red, white, and blue, and some would say I had a pretty spoiled childhood, but
I would say,
yeah, not it's in Bill we trust.
And who is your all-time favorite Patriots player? And that may be a stupid question.
Some would say, yeah, but I mean, it'd have to be Tom. I mean, how can you not? How can you not? But he brought great joy to me, and it was awesome.
Great sadness to me for many years. Except for the once-a-year game in Miami, it seems like we'd win.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have the rings to show for it. So what am I going to say? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What about right now? Current favorite Patriots player, if you have one?
I'm a true believer in Mac is the guy, and
okay.
I really do enjoy Mac. I will say, Christian Gonzalez, watch out.
The Rook.
Watch out.
Okay. Well, we may be highlighting a little Christian Gonzalez later. We'll have to see. But that means you guys are just gonna have to stick around and find out. Sorry about it. So we're gonna dive into things here. We're just gonna get right into it. The AFC, folks. So Tyler and I are gonna be going division by division, team by team, to give you a breakdown who we think is gonna finish where and why. We'll also do playoff predictions as well as award predictions as well too. So a few different things to look forward to. Nick and I love doing these preview episodes, but we also love having guests come on. Nick is unable to be here today, so Tyler's jumping in, and we certainly appreciate him doing that. So we're gonna get right into it here. AFC East. So this is your and I's division. Just gonna get it the best commentary right out of the way here, because I'm sure we both are gonna have a fair amount to say. But you're the guest, Mr. Rogers. Start us off. Who do we have finishing where in the AFC East?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be terrible to not put Buffalo on there. Yep. I will say the past few seasons, I'm like, okay, Buffalo is going to do it. That was my team last year, where I was like, okay, they are definitely going to do it. They're going to go all the way. Josh Allen is an absolute dog.
Dog.
Yeah. But it's enough talking about Buffalo. I have second. I really do think this might be a little biased, but I think
Yep.
the New England Patriots are going to
The
be second in the
skill.
division.
Skill.
I really do. It's in Bill. We trust a lot of. I don't know. It's it's going to be an awesome season. Hopefully, we do turn some heads because if we do finish second, we do have the statistically the hardest schedule in the NFL.
Okay.
So that should be interesting. But then I have the Jets at 3, and then Miami at 4. I it's not that Miami's going to have a bad season. It's I think injuries are going to play a factor. But I mean, who can predict injuries?
That's true. I certainly didn't predict Tua was going to have 75 concussions last year.
Yeah.
I know that much. I know that much. But no, that's fair. That's fair. I'll dive into mine here and we'll do a little more breakdown. So I also have Buffalo finishing first. I think it would be wild to have anyone else finishing first. Not to say that the Jets or Dolphins can't, or maybe in your case, Patriots. I just feel at the end of the day, they have the best quarterback in the division. I know A-Rod came to town, future Hall of Famer, great to ever do it. Josh Allen's better, and I think overall they have the camaraderie and they have I don't know, they've done it for a while and they've had some disappointing playoff losses that I think should fuel them to do it again this year, and I don't see why they shouldn't be able to as well with that. And then I have my Miami Dolphins finishing in second place. So I have Bills 12-5, Dolphins 11-6. I think it all, again, you kind of mentioned it, but it comes down to Tua. I think that is the common denominator. If Tua stays healthy, the Dolphins are a lock for the playoffs. I have no doubt in my mind. We all saw what he did with that offense last year with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, another 1,000-yard year, being able to utilize the run game, a lot of play action, a lot of RPO, which is his game. And, the jujitsu classes that he's taken, hopefully is going to help him, know how to roll, don't have those snapbacks of the head that we've been seeing. And the defense is going to be great. I think having Bradley Chubb for a whole year now versus just a half a year is going to be massive. Vic Fangio coming in being our defensive coordinator is going to be massive. I'll be interested to see how the offensive line does. I think as much as it comes down to Tua being healthy, it comes down to the offensive line. I'm going to need Teron Armstead to play a whole season.
Yeah.
I'm going to need that, which has not happened in a long time.
Yeah. But, I mean, you look at this division, like you could say every single one is going to go 1-1 in the division. Yep. Like it is absolutely crazy. This division is absolutely stacked and the hardest to predict. Any 4 of these teams, honestly, could probably do it. You could probably say, probably not New England, which, I get. Sure. It's the offense. But, I mean, we had a special teams and defensive coordinator calling our offensive plays last year.
Yep. Absolutely.
If you went on the street and asked, name 4 offensive players on the New England Patriots, you probably couldn't. So this division is stacked.
It is. It is. Brought in my boy Mike Gesicki. What's your thoughts on that?
He won't make much of a difference, honestly. It's
just
another guy, collecting a paycheck. It's. I mean, it's. I don't know. It should be an interesting season.
Yeah. You did kind of and then I guess let me finish the last year. So I have Jets and Patriots finishing 3rd and 4th. But jumping back to it, you did mention the ineptness from the Patriots offense last year. And that, say what you will about Mac Jones. Is he great? Is he not? I don't know. But when you've got Matt Patricia calling your offense plays, and what Joe Judge, was he also calling offense plays too? I mean, we saw how both of those guys did it as an NFL head coach, and it was not good. Was not
No,
good.
it was not. And, hopefully Bill O'Brien is going to make an improvement. I think it's only up from here, but it should be interesting. Having the hardest schedule, having Philadelphia week 1, will it tell, a lot about your team? I don't think so at all.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we're a second half of the season team because, hopefully we don't dig ourselves in too big of a hole because that will be detrimental, especially in this division.
Now let's just say Patriots have another subpar year. Is Bill probably the only unfireable coach in the NFL? Or do you think Robert Kraft is the only owner that would ever fire Bill in the
Uh,
NFL?
we have had it pretty amazing the last 20 years, but
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it would not shock me with the Crafts because that's the amazing thing about the Patriots is it starts up top and it's the ownership and it's the Crafts and they want to win, and when
Mhm.
they're not winning, it should be interesting because we have not had that in 25 years or so. So
Yeah.
it should be pretty interesting how everything plays out. As a Patriots fan, Bill can stay as long as he wants.
Okay.
Because last time I checked, our defense has been top
Balling.
half of the NFL
Yep.
past few seasons. So
Yep.
my leash is very long with Bill. He can stay however long he wants.
And I would probably tend to agree with you on that. I think there a lot of times sports are a very what are you doing for me now versus I don't care what you have done. I think Bill is probably one of the few exceptions in sports to that, where it's like, arguably probably the greatest coach ever. We all know the success that he's had, um, and we all know, you talk about obviously, yeah, a lot of success attributed to Tom Brady. Does Tom Brady have the same success as Bill's there? I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I don't know, but we also know. Do we think the Wes Welkers of the world, the Danny Amendolas of the world, name your random receiver for a 4-year period that was a baller for the Patriots, the Chris Hogans of the world, like are those guys who they are? If Bill's not their head coach, I doubt it. Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, that's a completely fair point. And that, again, and Bill we trust.
Yep, absolutely. I'm with you. Want to move to the Jets here real quick. Obviously, the big off-season addition was Aaron Rodgers. No shock in there. Um, I think you probably get to a point. We obviously saw Tom Brady's first year in Tampa winning the whole thing. I think it'll be a lot tougher road for Aaron Rodgers to do a similar thing because the AFC is far more stacked than the NFC is right now. And not just the AFC, but the AFC East, like you mentioned. It's a anyone could take it. Anyone could take the division.
The
Uh,
gauntlet.
it's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet. So what do you see as far as the Jets? Because I believe you had them in third place. Why didn't you have them maybe leapfrog second, maybe even first for that?
Yeah, well, it's yes, we look at what the Bucks did and what Tom. It's I will say it is extremely similar, especially with the defense that the Jets
Yep.
have. Especially Sauce and Quinton
Yeah.
Williams and all the dogs on that team.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson's absolute stud on
Yep.
the offense. Brees Hall as well. Don't forget.
Yep.
Uh, I went with my gut on this one, honestly.
Sure. Sure.
It's I don't know. We saw Aaron Rodgers last year. Yeah, he didn't have that many weapons, but don't get me wrong. He is great. He is
Yep.
absolutely great. But I don't know. Everyone is on the Jets. They have every right to be.
Yep.
I'm just not on that ship.
Yep.
And if they are great and they go far, I will sink with that ship and I will eat my words, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And maybe part of it for me is the whole I know what the Jets were for the last, and you too, for the last how many years? Just a joke of a team, a joke of a franchise. And maybe that's I still have some of those biases in my head. And maybe I need to see the Jets play a month of football before I'm like, okay, this is not the same old Jets. This is a new Jets team. Um, I'll be interested to see what happens there. I think, yeah, I don't know. Just the AFC is just so tough. It's just so tough everywhere too. We'll obviously get to the other ones, but I mean, a lot of the good teams in the AFC are very good teams.
Yeah, it's absolutely stacked. This AFC should be pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Anywho, so we'll move on from the AFC East. We'll dive into the AFC South now as the next division that we're going to go into. So we go from arguably maybe the best division in football to arguably the worst division in football in the AFC South. I'll start us off on this one. I had the Jags finishing first at 10-7, Titans at 7-10, Colts 6-11, Texans at 5-12. Um, yeah, I don't. It's bad. It's just so bad. Um, I guess let me hear yours. What did you have for your predictions for that division?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much the same. Obviously, Jacksonville. I think if you pick any other team than Jacksonville, I think you'd be just donating money to any sports book of your choice.
Right.
But second, I thought I'd go a little different here. I don't know. I'm not on Tennessee at all. They have the worst offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not to jump into fantasy, but I mean,
Please, please.
Derrick Henry is going 10th overall. Don't get me wrong, he's the king, but
Yep.
it's absolutely insane. What I mean,
Yeah.
worst offensive line in football.
Yeah.
That's saying something. And don't get me wrong, yes, D Hop is great.
Yep.
Who's their second guy? Traylon Burks. Yeah, he had a great first year. Who knows if we can play the first season or the first game? Excuse me. And can you even name another wide receiver on the team?
Gosh. I don't.
Exactly.
Probably not. No, probably not.
And what they have Caleb Farley on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I have Houston in the second spot. I do think this is the worst division in football. But I think Houston's is not gonna have a great year.
No.
But I think they're going to be higher than expectations.
Sure.
Me putting them second in the division is not saying that they're going to, be above 500. But I think they're going to be better than Tennessee and Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is going to be not good, to put it politely.
Yeah.
I'm not a believer in Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
I hope he proves me wrong. I think the front office and ownership was just way too desperate of getting their guy in quarterback instead of paying, an old veteran $30-40 million. They were done with that experiment. So they wanted best guy available, and Anthony Richardson, I guess, was there.
So what is the little bit of disdain towards Richard? Is it just the fact that he didn't play a whole lot in college? His college tape it's not a big one in comparison to the Bryce Youngs and the CJ Strouds.
You can ask San Francisco 49ers that question.
Trey Lance, yeah, very true. Just trade him for a fourth rounder. Yep.
It's definitely the experience in college. Honestly, when you watch some of these college games, and it's against Georgia or it's against Alabama, all these great teams. It really does say a lot. Like, look at Max Duggan against
Yep.
TCU in the championship game.
Ugh.
Looked awful.
Ugh.
I think he actually got waived. Like he's not even
He
eligible.
did.
So
Yep.
I mean, these people that take chances on these quarterbacks. Look at Malik Willis. Everyone was like, this guy, unbelievable. His talent,
Liberty
is
stud.
who did he play? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I will say, in Richardson's defense, I'm a big Gators guy. That's my squad. He had nothing to throw to, and I know a lot of people can make that excuse. I know they're Division One SEC Florida Gators. I get it, but when I tell you it was some of maybe the worst wide receiving core that I've ever seen, probably was the worst wide receiving core. It just was so bad. So a lot of times, he had to throw it up in the the double coverage, the situations why he was running so much too. He didn't have no one to throw to, But I definitely understand the concern on your end. I get it. Didn't play a whole lot. Um, I think he definitely was best player available at that moment. I think they got him for. I think he has a high ceiling. I think out of anyone picked in this draft, I think if everything goes according to plan, which in sports you hate to play the F game, but if everything goes the way it's supposed to be, I think he could be a great player. I think he'd be an outstanding player. He very well may not. I think as high as his ceiling is, the floor is even that much lower. So, but it's tough. It's a tough situation overall.
Yeah, I mean, those types of players, like, great ceiling, all this. I mean, I can understand if it's a second, a third, fourth, maybe even a fifth round pick, but fourth overall.
Right.
I mean, I know it's a quarterback league,
Right.
and you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So,
Yep.
again, I hope he's great.
Yes.
I am not buying it.
Right. Okay. We'll have to see. It is important to remember too. With the Texans, with the Colts, there's a reason why they had these picks. Is because they were not good NFL franchises last year. So I think if anyone year one goes into it and Bryce Young has struggles, CJ Stroud has struggles, Richardson, any of those top teams has struggles. Remember where these teams were a year ago, okay? These quarterbacks are not playing for Ohio State. They are not playing for Alabama anymore.
Yeah.
They're on bad NFL teams. But that's why we love to watch it, see what they can become.
Exactly. Yeah. Good to move on in this in a new division.
Yes. And Titans number 1 play the Saints week 1. Play the Saints week 1.
Wow.
So that's their week 1 matchup there. Anywho. So AFC North, another tough division. The bully division, everyone's always beating each other up there. So who do we have for the AFC North?
Definitely the second best division in the NFL. Yep. All four have very good defenses.
Mm-hmm.
I am a true believer in Joey B. I love Cincinnati. I absolutely love Cincinnati. They are going to be my division winner.
Okay.
Let me get a note here quick.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Joe Burrow's a dog. He's an absolute dog. I think that's very fair to have the Bengals number. With that calf, we'll have to see the calf injury. If anything comes of that. No one's really saying a whole heck of a lot about that.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you know who had the 5th best defense in points per game last year?
Who did? I would assume if we are talking about the Bengals, it would be Cincinnati Bengals.
It is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
To me, that was crazy. I
couldn't believe
not have 20 points per game.
Yeah, would not have expected that.
They re-signed Trey Hendrickson.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, they drafted Miles Murphy in the first round. Yes,
Right.
they lost Jesse Bates,
Yep.
uh, but they drafted Jordan Battle in the third round, and he's out of Alabama.
Yep.
Uh,
Dog.
yeah. What was their problem last year? The O line. Okay, they
Yep.
got Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
What a trade. And then they have the best three receiver core in the entire league with Tyler
So
Boyd,
good.
Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. I mean, this team, not to a little foreshadowing.
Yep.
Uh, I love the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay. Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And who do we have after that?
I really do think it's going to be a bounce back season for Lamar.
Okay.
Um, if if I didn't pick Joey B to be the MVP, it would have been Lamar Jackson, honestly, because
Okay.
I think Lamar is gonna have a great year.
Yep.
I can't believe he's actually at plus 1,400 right now for odds to win. Uh, that's some pretty good value in Lamar. But I have the Baltimore Ravens with their additions will be good and a healthy team.
Yes.
Hopefully, Mark Andrews can stay healthy. Doesn't sound
Yes.
going to the first game, but uh, it comes down to every team, health.
Yep.
But
And
my
then,
third my
yeah.
third team is going to be Pittsburgh. I About a month ago, I was like, I think Pittsburgh might be last. But over this last month, I couldn't have been more wrong. They could be. It's going to come down to the last game of the season with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Uh, it should be interesting if they do play, but that that race is going to be unbelievable.
Massive playoff implications that last
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And Kenny Pickett's been looking nice.
Yep.
George Pickens, Naj
Yep.
is going to probably have a very good year as well.
Yep.
It and that defense, I cannot sleep on that defense. Uh,
Okay.
but then I got Cleveland in fourth. I think they're just such a mid team.
Yep.
They're a 9-8 kind of team.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm not a true believer in Deshaun Watson, but I guess they are because they gave him $250 million. But uh, someone's got to get paid, I guess.
I suppose. I guess. Um. Yeah. No. So I'll just dive into mine here. So I also have the Bengals finishing in first. I think you hit the nail on the head on a lot of things. This division undoubtedly is probably the second toughest division to predict.
Up and down.
I do think the Bengals. I do think it'll be their division. I don't have too much doubt in that. If a Ravens or a Steelers team sneak, kind of came through the back door there, and got first place, I guess I wouldn't be too shocked by that. I think it's a Bengals division to lose though, so I had the Bengals finishing first. I have Pittsburgh at second. I was in the exact same boat as you, down to a T. A month ago, I was like, this team, I don't. What are they doing? Mike Tomlin, great coach, but it may be getting close to his time too. And the more I kept thinking about it, great team. Kenny Pickett, year two's been balling. Like you said, George Pickens has been balling. Deontay Johnson had a very solid year last year. They got that Darnell Washington too, who's an absolute unit out there, and Jalen Warren too. I think this is a team that has a lot of people that want to step up, and fantasy implications too. That's been a lot of people's diamond in the rough pick. They're hoping that Jalen Warren dude. So we'll have to see how that goes, and the
Yes.
and the defense as well too. You can't say enough great things about it. Minka Fitzpatrick is a dude. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dolphins, for trading him.
Yeah.
I have the Ravens finishing in third. So I have Bengals at 11-6, Steelers at 11-6, and I have the Ravens at 10-7. I do think, like you said, it will come down to that last game of the year. Um, I do think Lamar Jackson will have a much better year if he's staying healthy. I'll be interested to see kind of year how the defense holds up a little bit. I know they've kind of gotten banged up a little bit the last couple of years, as well as the receiving core too. But drafting Zay Flowers, I think, could be very beneficial for Baltimore in that. And then Browns at 9-8. I'm again with you. I don't. I think if put in another division, they might be a better playoff team. But the other three teams that are there, I don't know what they would have to do to win. Yeah, I don't know. Deshaun Watson would have to go off, I guess.
There's a lot of loves on that team. Like, I absolutely love Denzel Ward.
Yep.
I mean, Nick Chubb is, second best, third best, whatever, running back in the league.
Yep.
Their offensive line is very good. Yep. And then the D line as well is it's a solid group. It's just I don't know. I guess it comes down to quarterback, honestly.
Quarterback, and I think too, this division may come down to coaching. You got a Harbaugh, Tomlin. We know what Zach Taylor obviously can do. He brought his team to a Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, and Kevin Stefanski's not a bad coach by any measure at all. It's just a lot of greats in the division, and I think they are the lesser of the greats.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I guess to put a bow on this division, Steelers Ravens play last week of the season.
Okay, here we go. Something to look forward to, folks. Mark it. AFC West. Moving on to that one. I mean, I have Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I Chiefs at 13-4. I have Chargers 11-6, Broncos 8-9, and then the Raiders at 4-12. What do you have for the AFC West? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I got Kansas City. I mean, I as much as I hate Kansas City, you gotta put respect on their name, but I try to throw in something different. I think Denver is gonna get second.
Okay.
I kind of hope I'm wrong because I do like the Chargers a lot. I love Herbert. He's super down to earth guy, likable guy. Yep. But I don't know that the defense. I do like Denver. It should be interesting though what Russell can do.
Well, he cooked.
I mean, last year it was awful. I remember I drafted him in fantasy last year, and I don't think I've been ever more disappointed in a player in my entire life.
Fair.
It was awful, but new coach. It should be lots better. But hopefully Jerry Jeudy can stay healthy. Sounds like he might not play week 1, which will be very bad. But Denver and Chargers, again, that I think that could come down to the last week. I think one of those two teams will definitely make the playoffs. Yep. I just am not a Chargers guy, as when it comes to, them to win, or when the lights are on, and having them win. I don't know. The past 8 years. The Patriots would play the Chargers, the playoffs, and so the Chargers, they could do it. Yeah,
find a way to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, exactly. They're not even close.
Always losing in the worst ways.
Yeah, but I mean the Raiders as well in last. I mean, God bless Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, obviously you're in Vegas. You have a lot more probably insight on the Raiders than probably most folks listening to it. Is Josh McDaniels another bad year? Is he done? Or what's the thought process behind McDaniels out there?
Yeah, I think he's got a little more of a leash. I mean, it's only this will be his second season. So I mean, who has he had? I mean, he's gonna have 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a bit more of a leash there. It should be one big question mark I have with that team. It's going
Yep.
to be what Josh Jacobs does. Honestly, it'll be interesting if he has repeat season, or is he going to have a more of a down season, which I expect. But
Yep.
what do I know?
Right. Good offense. I think this is a team that can be a good offense. Defense, horrendous. So bad. So bad.
Yeah, I mean they have one guy, and it's Max Crosby.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think if
can't
Raiders
say
even have
much
an average
more.
defense, I'd
Yeah,
say if Raiders have an average defense, they may be sniffing a
I,
playoff spot, but they don't.
right, exactly.
They
Yes.
don't. But yeah, and as far as the Chargers too, Staley, I have him finishing in second. I would not be shocked at that at all if they find some way to blow it end of the season because Staley wants to keep his players in the game in a meaningless week 17 game and they get hurt, or week 16 game and they get hurt like he did last year, and screws the team.
Yeah,
I don't know that I trust him all that much, but Herbert is a stud. Eckler, Keenan Allen need no introduction there either. With that.
exactly. Yeah, they could score 30 points a game. They could. This is a team that could lead the league in points per game and be
Yep.
500.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of reminiscent of a lot of those Saints teams back in the day.
Yeah,
Drew Brees is going to put up 40 points, but the defense is going to give up 50.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Look at the playoffs last year. The Chargers against the Jags. I mean,
yeah,
what they were
boy,
up. They were up big.
turn that game off at halftime.
That
That was
was
a poor
crazy.
decision.
Crazy.
I think another thing too, we'll move on from Chargers in a second here, but just last thing I want to bring up with them. I think a lot of how their success is going to be is how if Joey Bosa stays healthy. I think if Bosa stays healthy, I think he's undoubtedly the anchor of that defense. We all know what he can do when he plays, but he's had troubles playing. He's been staying healthy. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then, Broncos, I don't know. Maybe it's just being from Colorado, growing up around the Broncos, and just seeing how they usually find ways to screw themselves. That's another team that can't stay healthy, too. Tim Patrick out for the year again. Hate to see that. Hate
Yeah.
to see that. We'll see. Chiefs, no doubt, will finish first after that, second and third. We shall see.
Yeah, I think that's a lock.
Yeah. Move on to the other conference, the NFC now. So we will start in the NFC East. Fun fact for you, Tyler. The NFC East has not had a repeat champion since 2004. I saw that stat. I thought that is wild. Thinking about it, probably not, because any team finishes in any position every single year. Every year.
Yeah, that's an absolutely crazy stat. I will say this, since you brought it up, and usually when you see stats like that, usually it happens. So I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles to win that division.
Yeah.
There's so many dogs on that team. It is absolutely insane. And again, I don't want to foreshadow what my Super Bowl predictions are or anything, but both sides of the ball, that team is quite good.
Quite young too. So young.
Yeah.
So young.
Yeah. But second, I got the Giants coming
Okay.
at second. I think this is a year where Dak takes a huge step back.
Okay.
Because I think, I guess here's my hot take,
Let's see it.
of coming on. It's Dallas. They finished third in their division. They do not make the playoffs, and they will cut Dak because
Okay.
I think next year he's owed like $50 million.
Oh.
And if they cut him, they will owe him nothing. It's
Mm.
nothing. So I
Maybe Super Bowl or bust for Dak this year to keep his job in Dallas.
Yes. Yeah. I am not high on Dallas at all. Yes, the defense has very nice moments. Statistically, they're one of the best, especially their secondary.
Yes.
But they also have, it's a mixed bag with them because Trayvon Diggs, yeah, he led the league in interceptions that 1 year, but guess
Very
what?
boomer bust.
Exactly. I will say a super underrated pickup, Stephon Gilmore for Dallas.
Yep.
That will be. He will have. I think he'll have a very, very good year. If Dallas has any chance, Dak has to play out of his mind.
Yep.
And then obviously the defense. I mean, they just have to have a lot of takeaways.
Yep. Yep.
And obviously
Brandon Cook,
Washington
too.
last.
Yeah. 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 I'm with you. I also have the Eagles finishing first at 13-4. All the same reasons you brought up. Just the fact that they're able to get every year in the draft, they get someone that's an immediate starter on their defense who's going to be probably one of the better players in the league.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't. I don't know how they do it. I guess the
Yeah.
cards fall in their hand. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they need to stick on the defense. They don't need to pick an offensive player in the first round because they can ask Justin Jefferson about that.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. That's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah. But I mean, in this division, can we please get free Terry McLaurin? This
Yeah,
Washington Commanders team, free Terry. My
yeah.
goodness.
And he is a he could be so valuable to so many teams,
Oh,
but I don't see him being a guy that's gonna force his way out. I don't see him being that player. He has every right in the world to be that player. Every right in the world to
yeah.
be. I don't think he will. But I'm with you. I'm with you. Um, I have Dallas finishing second at 12-5. Now, I am with you. I think Dallas. I could very well be eating my shorts, by the time the season's over with Dallas, because I don't necessarily disagree with you in a single thing that you said. I'm gonna play the dumb, blind, blind person on this one, and and maybe close my eyes to what Dallas has done in the past. And you look on paper a lot of times can only take you so far, but they have a team. They have a very good team, and I just. But you're right. Dak is going to have to play out of his mind. He will have every reason in the world to be able to. He has the guys to do it.
Yep.
Gallup, Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Tony Pollard back there behind them. He's got the guys. So no excuses from him. Or else maybe we see Trey Lance suiting up by the time the season's over. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Those people though that thinks oh, Dak, are you scared? I mean, he just got the third string job in it. Brock Purdy and
Yeah,
the backup, and he was even the backup for the
right.
49ers. So it's like for him to come in and challenge Dak for the job is absurd.
Dak would have to get hurt, or Cowboys would have to fall out of contention early for Trey Lance to get him.
Yeah.
But anywho, yeah. So I like I said, I could be very wrong with that take, and they could choke like they tend to do often and miss playoffs. But we're gonna be positive right now. I had the Giants finishing third. They shocked the world last year. There was no one in the world outside of maybe Giants fans. I'm not sure they could even convince me that they thought the Giants were going to make the playoffs last year.
Win a game.
Nonetheless, win a game. Nonetheless, win a game. That offense looked great last year. They brought in Darren Waller, which is a massive addition. He's got to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy. Stays healthy, could be very good. I think they're going to have a little reality check this year. I think they're going to come back down on the pedestal that they were. I don't know that they do it again. I don't know that they do it again 2 years in a row. And maybe they do. Like I said, Dallas chokes, Giants finish second. That very well could be the case, but I tend to believe that they wouldn't. But Dable is a great coach, and he knows how to get the guys going. So I can't say I'd be shocked if they did. But
Yeah.
and then yep, Commanders fourth. I mean, it's Commanders.
Free Terry.
Free Terry. What's just the only other thing I want to bring up with the Commanders? I don't waste too much airtime talking about them. Sam Howell. A lot of people think Sam Howell is going to be a dog. Am I just? I mean, I don't know that I see that. What's your thoughts on him? Heineke thinks he's going to be a great player. His former teammate.
Yeah, I wonder how much he got paid to say that. But
Yeah.
I mean, next division. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's crazy. He'll probably be good. He'll probably be good. If you consider 20 touchdowns and 10 picks, good. So I
had Carson Wentz starting games last year, so I'm sure that's better. Anyhow, thank you for Commanders. Best of luck, Sam. Free Terry. We'll move on now to the NFC South. So I'll dive into that one. Again, this is kind of a tough division to predict. Not for the good ways. It's because they're not great. I have the Saints finishing first at 10-7. I think it's going to come down to quarterback play, and I trust Derek Carr more than I do Desmond Ridder, Baker Mayfield / Kyle Trask, and Bryce Young. Bryce Young, I think, could be a great player. Year one, I don't know. I think the Saints, Michael Thomas coming back, maybe. Who knows? Maybe he'll hurt his ankle again week 2 and be out for another 4 seasons. I don't know. But I think the Saints, it's their division to lose just because the Panthers, Falcons, and Tampa, they're just not great teams. Falcons have a lot of offense. Bijan, I think, will be solid. I think Drake London will be solid. Pitts will be solid. Who's going to throw him the ball? Going to throw him the ball. I don't know. Not a lot of great things. I wish I would have given my boy Kyle Trask a chance in Tampa. I think Baker Mayfield has had his chances. Now, obviously, it's not a feelings game, but if it was, they should give Kyle Trask a chance. But anyways, NFC South, what do you have rolling here for us?
Yeah, this division is interesting. I think there is one absolutely clear winner, and I want the camera on me. The New Orleans Saints are going to easily win this division.
Yeah.
There was one area where the Saints excelled in top 10 in the league. What do you think that was?
I'm going to say it was, I'm going to say defense.
Exactly. So it was top 10. It was their secondary. The opponents gained 20 or more yards on just 6.3% pass attempts against the New Orleans Saints last year. That's the lowest rate in the league.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. The entire starting secondary is returning. They didn't lose anybody. You're going to give me Desmond Ridder, a rookie quarterback, and Bryce Young, as well as Baker Mayfield, who had 14 interceptions last year, 21 14 his first year, 21 the next year after that, 13 interceptions in 2021 in 14 games played. Thank you very much. I would take the Saints in this division. Derek Carr running the ship.
Derek Carr is still a very capable quarterback of winning games, too, in this league. Got to remember that. Bryce Young, how does he do this year?
I think he'll have a fine season. I really do think it'll be like T-Law's first season.
Sure.
I really do. I especially the next season for Bryce Young. I think as much as I think Carolina is going to be awful.
Yeah.
It's a team that's not too bad. Honestly, this division is not too bad. I mean, yes, Tampa Bay, is kind of on the offensive side. They still have Chris Godwin. They still have Mike Evans. Yeah. Mike Evans, the most underrated receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I mean, this division has some strengths and has some weaknesses, on both sides, every team. Uh,
Right.
but Bryce, back to Bryce, I really do see a lot of T-Law
Sure.
in Bryce, as in just stats wise. I think it'll be very similar to T-Law in the first year, where he'll have a quiet year, have some nice moments, but quiet, maybe a little more interceptions that than you'd like. But again, who's he throwing the ball to? I mean, not really anybody. So once Carolina kind of loads up a bit more, I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think Adam Thielen will be a good addition, not so much because I think Adam Thielen's going to have an outstanding year, just more, I think, on the veteran to rookie relationship. I think
yeah,
that'll be huge for Bryce Young. I think that'll
yeah,
be huge.
yeah.
Uh,
But I have Atlanta second in this division,
okay.
respectively. I think they'll be right at 500, near 500. Thanks, NFLPA for 17 games. But I think they'll be right by 500, right around 500, 9-8. Uh, they will. It's hard to say if they'll make the playoffs. They probably will because the NFC is just not that good.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the defensive side, I mean, AJ Terrell. I really love AJ Terrell. They just got Jeff Okuda, who
That's right.
big big question mark. Obviously, I believe he was fourth overall that one year, third
Yeah.
or fourth to the Lions.
Yeah.
But I mean that it should be interesting. They do have the ninth best offensive line, the Atlanta Falcons. So
Okay.
Bijan should. I mean, he's going to have an unreal year.
Yeah.
Bijan, I think. Um, but again, their weakness is going to be their front seven at Atlanta, which ranks 28th. There's just no dogs on that team.
So that's tough. I would like the Falcons to be a good football team. They have their offense for, I mean, ever has always been just fun to watch offense.
Yeah, yeah,
Defense sucks. Always. Always sucks. Every year.
yeah,
Every year.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
back to the Roddy White days when
yeah,
Roddy White was balling for the Falcons. I
yeah.
mean,
Julio.
Julio, I mean, Ridley before he was doing some gambling. Some gambling.
Yeah, that I mean, but I mean, again, it's a fun division.
Very.
But I think Saints
Yeah.
hands down win this division.
Let's go up north, shall we? Go to the NFC North. Go ahead, start us out with this one. NFC North. Who'd we have here?
Well, let me get you some stats here first.
Please.
So this could be. I think this is the second most wide open division in football.
Sure.
Why I say that? I mean, everyone is so high in the Lions. Like I get it. The offense is humming,
Yep.
and they're very good. But the Lions last year, yards per game, 398 yards given up,
Yeah.
last in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah.
146 rushing yards per game, 29th in the NFL. 245 passing yards, that's 30th in the NFL. And then 45% on third down. 45%. That's almost halfway. You know, the team that it's absolutely crazy. That was 30th in the NFL. Oh well, they got Aiden Hutchinson. They ranked 17th in the NFL in sacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will say this about the Lions, though. To end on a good note, uh, they do have the two best, or the second best offensive line this year.
Okay.
Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell on the tackles.
Dogs.
Dogs. Last year, they were top 5 among all tackles with 1,000 snaps played. And a little foreshadowing, Rookie of the Year. Love me some Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay. Okay. Big Jahmyr Gibbs guy. I like it. I like it. What do we have after that? How are the Packers and Bears doing?
Yeah, so I guess yes, to win the division, after I said all that, I think I'm gonna take the Vikings.
Okay.
Everyone's taking the Lions. I think I will gladly take Minnesota. Their offense should have a great year. Kirk should have a great year. Yes, they lost Dalvin. I mean, running backs honestly plug and play. But the Jordan Addison should be a very good addition. Um,
Speedster.
yes, yes, and having Brian Flores come in on the defensive side should clean up things. Not saying they're going to be top half in the NFL, but they're going to be close mid NFL. So I do like the Vikings to win the division. How they're not favored is kind of crazy, but and then I do got the Lions at 2. I definitely think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they'll probably play Minnesota in the playoffs first
Okay.
game. That should be a great game. But third, I think I don't think the Bears are going to be very good. I think they're still a few years away. But so I have the Packers here, just because I guess.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's the Vikings division to lose. I know we've said that term a lot, but it's true. I don't know that there's really any scenario that the Vikings don't win the division. Their offensive players need no introduction. They're not completely inept on defense. They've lost a few guys the last couple years, but time for new guys to step up, right? So somebody's going to have to step up here. With you on Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison, welcome to RB1 role. Welcome to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Welcome
No
to it.
kidding.
Um,
Have a great year.
and a guy too that I think can handle it. I think he'll definitely be able to handle the job. Brought in Miles Gaskin, your former Dolphin too, which good pass catching back. You're not going to rely on him to be your every down back, but you know, slip out some screens here to him here and there.
Yeah,
Could
yeah,
be big.
yeah.
Could be
And
big.
Madison, fresh running back. So
Yep.
I mean, that's the name of the game
Yep.
in at running back position. It's fresh and it's youth. So he should have a great year.
Now Hawkinson wants to reset the market. Does he do that with the Vikings?
It's
That's a tough situation.
it's tough. It's just I don't know the salary cap in NFL. It's there's no such thing. I
Right.
mean the way that they can maneuver and everything, it's absolutely crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
if he does, he does. But I mean, who is going to, you know, maybe Kyle Pitts when it comes to that time? But that's kind of about it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Um, with you on the Lions, I think this is a team where a couple more years and they are probably which again I don't know why I don't know how they are predicted to do as well as they are finishing top of the division. I feel every year in the NFL there's always one team every year that's like everyone wants to jump on as their sleeper team to win a division, and I think this year is the Lions for a lot of people. Now, I also have the Lions making the playoffs. I don't see them winning the division. I think the Vikings are too good of a team for that to happen. So I have Lions at second at 10-7. Um, Packers at third and 8-9. I think it's no secret. It's going to come down to how Jordan Love plays.
Yeah,
If he plays like the two quarterbacks before him, shake your hand, Packers Nation. Congratulations. I don't know that's going to happen. And then again, I'm with you on the Bears too. Few years out. Um, Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields. He's had no one to throw. Cole Kmet was his number one receiver last year. I think that says enough about the weapons that he's had to throw to. Now he'll have DJ Moore, which will be big. That'll be nice.
yeah, yeah.
That'll be fun to see.
Exactly.
But
I
I
think
don't.
in this division as well. I think Week 1 is going to determine the entire season for all 4 teams.
Sure.
The Packers play the Bears Week 1. I mean, I think whoever wins that, is going to probably get that third spot in the division. Same with the Vikings, as in, if they come out and absolutely they score 40 points against the Bucks, I mean, I think they're easily going to win the division, especially if their defense plays well against, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Yes, they got Baker throwing to them, but whatever there. But but the Lions, they play the Chiefs.
Right, Thursday Night Football.
Exactly. So I think week 1 is going to tell a lot about these teams.
Yeah, I think so. I'll be interested. Again, like I said, I feel very confident in my division winners all the way around. It's just the after that, I think Lions will finish second, but Jordan Love and Justin Fields are the two question marks in that division, which obviously is not, it's an obvious statement. They're the quarterbacks, but there are a lot of question marks behind both of those guys. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Exactly.
Moving on, NFC West now, final division, in football. Starting us off here, so I'll dive into this. I have 49ers finishing first at 13-4, Seattle at 11-6, Rams 6-11, Cardinals 3-14. I'm very high on the 49ers. I think they have definitely proven with the quarterback carousel that they've had the last, how many years now? It doesn't matter who you throw in there. They're a team that's going to do very well. They brought Mr. Irrelevant and made him the hottest name last year for a certain point, Sucks that he got hurt. Sucks he had to throw Josh Johnson out there and say, try and win this playoff game with no snaps. I don't think Brock Purdy is nothing special. He's nothing we haven't ever seen before. But he's in the exact perfect system that he needs to be in for them to have success. And he showed he could do that last year. So we'll have to see that, as well as, McCaffrey needs no introduction, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, just loaded on the offense, loaded on the defense. Nick Bosa, just so good. They're just so good all around. I don't see any other team in that division winning. Now, saying that, I have Seattle second. I think Seattle is a team that, if the 49ers find themselves in some more injury troubles like they did at some points last year, I think Seattle could be a team to dethrone them. If the 49ers are healthy, no way. 49ers are a healthy team. It's their division to win. But what do you have? What's your NFC West looking like?
Yeah, that pretty much probably exactly the same, honestly. It's definitely the Niners to lose. I mean, the only thing you could probably critique them is just the one area of weakness is that right tackle role. Colton McKinns, I believe is how you pronounce the last name. But over the last 2 seasons, playoffs included, he's allowed 7.5% pressure rate when he lined up on either side of the tackles position. That rate would have ranked 62nd out of 67. So that's not good. But the roster is loaded. If that's the one weakness you have, it's
whatever.
It's a pretty good one to have.
Yeah.
But the Hawks at 2, I was very surprised when you said 11-6 for the Hawks.
Yeah.
But then I kind of took a step back and was like, that kind of makes sense. You got 2 bottom feeders in this division. So, that's 4 wins right there. Maybe the Rams can, squeak out a win against Seattle.
Sure.
I think that's, possibly in the cards. But Seattle, that's a pretty fun roster.
Very.
I tip the hat of what they've done. Blew expectations out of the water last year. A lot of people, said they were kind of like, this team could be pretty bad. But he earned his contract he signed this year.
Yep.
I think they might be just a little worse than what their actual record shows because of their division. But a nice wild card team at 9-8, 10-7 is in the cards. Is in the cards for them.
Yep. Yep. Um, I'm pretty confident in saying Cincinnati has the best wide receiving room. I think an argument could be had that Seattle is not all that far behind them. DK Metcalf's a great player. Tyler Lockett, sure hands, Mr. Reliable. Now, in saying this is me assuming Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to have a big year, which I think he will. I think he'll be an outstanding receiver in this league. I did draft him in a couple dynasty leagues, so there could be some bias behind that, hoping that's the case.
That's
With that,
more hopeful.
exactly, yeah. But no, you're right. As far as the Rams go, they're not going to apologize for spending. They got a Super Bowl out of it.
Exactly. That's all you can ask for.
Yep, they got a Super Bowl. Sean McVay's not crying. Aaron Donald's not crying. Matthew Stafford's not crying.
Yeah, they're all getting paid.
Yep.
I mean, it's the one thing I have in the Rams, horrible. Joe Noteboom, he allowed 10% pressure rate last year. That's ranked 34th out of 35.
Yes.
In the left tackle position. Last time I checked, there's only 32 teams in the NFL, and ranking 34th is not very good.
Last I checked, that would be correct. That would be correct. Yeah. I'm not going to spend any time talking about the Cardinals, but Josh Dobbs, Clayton Tooney, best of luck.
Yeah, it should be interesting, though. I guess to highlight the Cardinals a little bit, it should be interesting what they do with Kyler. If he's going to play at all this year. Who knows? I mean, why would you? Especially, I mean, he got hurt week 11 last year against the Patriots Monday night. I believe it was week 11, but I know it was later in the season. And I mean, if he comes back right around a year from now or a year from when the injury happened, I mean, they're going to be 1-9, 1-10. I mean, why would you come back?
Yeah.
So it should be interesting if they trade Kyler. New coaching staff, new GM. So it should be interesting if they move on with Kyler and, obviously draft Caleb Williams.
Yeah. You want to talk about quarterback carousels, though. Goodness gracious, Arizona Cardinals. They have had a hefty amount.
Yeah.
Maybe my boy Josh Rosen isn't too much looking like a clown now, showing how inept that front office is.
Yes, that was crazy.
Anyways, best of luck. Like I said, Josh Dobbs, engineering. I'm sure he's an engineering major at Tennessee. Smart dude.
Smart. Yeah, that's crazy. They cut Colt McCoy, but I mean, again, we don't watch practice, but it should be a very, very interesting year in the NFL. I guess out of the teams or the division winners, who would you say that is one of the second place teams? Who or what division do you think? Oh no,
that's okay.
What division winner that you have now? Who do you think is not going to win if you were to have, or if you were to choose? Is what I'm trying to say.
So, for example, why don't you give me
like my example
for
the NFC East, or excuse me, the AFC East? I think that division could have any winner. I think all the other divisions are pretty much locked of their division winners.
I see what you're saying. I mean, East probably for the AFC. I would be shocked slightly if the Bengals didn't win the North, but that may be my second choice is the AFC North. And then maybe potentially the NFC South. I do feel confident in the Saints winning that division, but with just so many question marks in that division, if Baker turns into the next GOAT, and they go 13-4, which that ain't happening, but maybe. But yeah, probably AFC East, AFC North, and then maybe the NFC South.
Yeah, I agree.
South. But we shall see. That's why we love football, right? Make predictions to have all of them be wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll move into some playoff predictions now. So we'll just go through. If you want to start us off, give us your AFC matchups. If you did that, unless you whatever format you did for your playoffs, just dive right into however you did it, and that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the AFC is it's a gauntlet. It's pretty crazy. I definitely think Jacksonville obviously is going to win the division, so they'll be in. Kansas City will be in, winning their division. Cincy, Buffalo. So that's the four. I think the first wild card spot is going to be Baltimore. The second is going to be Pittsburgh, and then I think third is going to be Denver.
Okay.
The last spot is going to be Denver. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone's going to beat each other up. I don't have any upsets really, honestly. And once it goes to the playoffs, but I think definitely who's going to represent the AFC. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay. Joe Burr, Joe Shiesty, Joey B. My AFC prediction. So I have as a number 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs. I have Buffalo as the 2, Bengals as the 3, Jags as the 4, Dolphins as the 5, Steelers as the 6, Chargers as the 7. I guess I'm not going to dive too much into matchups. A lot of this is predictions, but I do have the Dolphins beating the Jags first round. I have the Bengals beating Pittsburgh. I have the Bills beating the Chargers. Thanks for coming, Chargers. Try again next year again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chiefs and Dolphins matchup. I mean, I go Fins, but they ain't winning. Tyreek, maybe he'll have a big game, but Dolphins aren't going to win that. And then Bills, Bengals. Great matchup. Another great matchup here. I'm going to have the Bengals coming out on top again. So a little flashback to last year's playoff matchup. Bengals playing the Chiefs. I think it's going to be another heartbreak city for the Bengals. I think the Chiefs are going to find a way back. I very well could see the Bengals representing the AFC. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say by any stretch. I mean, they were one late hit out of bounds away from potentially, having a chance to win that thing. One stupid play costed their entire season.
That game was so hard to watch. It was actually insane. I mean, I won't get into that, but I think Cincinnati will have a fuel under their fire this year.
Yep. Absolutely. What's your NFC looking like?
NFC, it's honestly going to come down to. I mean, obviously injuries. I mean, that's every team. Whoever's the healthiest is going to obviously make it. I don't really like to, say the team that represented, each conference, the same year because it's like, recency bias. But I mean, I cannot get over the Philadelphia Eagles. Both sides of the ball are insane. It's going to come down to health, obviously. But I guess if you were to pick out, maybe a little cause of concern, I think it'd be the secondary for Philly, which is ranked third in EPA, which is extended points added per pass attempt. So they allowed the it was third. Sorry, they ranked third, and then if they don't get pressure, then it drops down to 15th without pressure. But I guess if that's your only problem. That's a good problem to have. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, in the trenches is going to win you championships, and I mean, Philly is ranked
Absolutely.
very high.
Yep. Yep. They're loaded. They have a lot of dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single spot in their team, they have dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be Niners, Philly again, I think, in the MC Championship. And Philly, I think, is going to, I think it'll be close, but I think Philly is going to win that conference again. And I think they're going to, I won't actually give up my Super Bowl prediction yet.
We'll get to that.
Yes,
Hey, that's
yes.
okay. A lot of excitement to make these
Yes.
predictions. I love it. So for my NFC, I have the Niners as the 1 seed, Eagles as the 2, Vikings as the 3, Saints as the 4, Dallas as the 5, Seattle as the 6, Lions as the 7. I have the Lions, great story, run into a buzzsaw off the Philadelphia Eagles. Good luck next year. Eagles are winning. I have the Vikings choking in the playoffs again. I don't know if it's just for the memes at this point. I don't know. I don't trust them in the playoffs. I don't trust them one bit. So I have Seattle winning, and then Saints and Dallas. Just for the matchup, I think I would give the edge to Dallas on that. I think they'd be tough for them to lose that game, but it is Dallas, so never know. And then 49ers in Seattle, I have the 49ers winning that one. Eagles and Dallas, I have the Eagles winning. So I also have a 49ers Eagles matchup to go to the Super Bowl, except I have a rematch of a few years ago Super Bowl. I have the 49ers coming out on top on this one. I think I don't, obviously a lot can happen in an entire year of football. Everyone understands that. But to me, when you look at the 2 best teams in the NFC, it's going to come down to the Eagles and it's going to come down to the 49ers. I don't see another team snaking their way in there unless injuries happen. That's the only way. But I have the Niners coming out on top this year. Obviously, it sucked. We didn't get to see what they were able to do really last year with Purdy getting hurt very early into that game. Yeah, he couldn't throw a football. He couldn't throw a football. So yeah, going into the Super Bowl. So I'll let you lead us off. What's the Super Bowl looking like?
I think Super Bowl in Las Vegas. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles again are going to be heartbroken by a superior offense, and Joey B gets his first Super Bowl title.
What a fun matchup would that be?
Oh, the matchup would be it would be crazy.
So many young stars on both sides of the ball for both teams. Talk about box office. That would just be so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Super Bowl. It's going to be fun to watch regardless, obviously. Yes. But, you throw a ball. Oh, man, yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I tell you what. Especially here in Vegas.
Yeah.
It'll be bumping.
Yes. Now, how close are you to Allegiant Stadium? Is that a close drive for you?
Yeah, about 25 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, just I guess hop on the highway and you're there.
Easy enough.
Yes.
Easy enough. So I have the Chiefs and the 49ers playing each other in the Super Bowl. I think this time around the 49ers come out on top. I think with some of the losses that the Chiefs have had to their O-line, obviously you mentioned Orlando Brown, the biggest loss and a massive one at that. He is an absolute stud for the Chiefs. His whole career so far leading up to this moment. I assume Chris Jones will be back at some point for the Chiefs, but if he decides to hold out, I don't know. That's an interesting situation there too. They didn't dive into much, but 49ers just need Brock Purdy to be a game manager this year. They just need him to be a game manager. They don't need him to be Patrick Mahomes. They need him to be Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes, exactly. Hand the ball 25 times, 30 times.
That's right. Got to give Debo some love.
Yes.
Got to give George some love. Got to give Brandon a little bit of love. But, I mean, got CMC on your team, too. It's a tough problem to have.
Yeah, just don't turn the ball over and you'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations to the 49ers and or the Cincinnati Bengals. One of those two teams will be in the Super Bowl. Maybe they play each other, and then we'll see what happens. That'd be something.
Yeah. Either matchup should be great.
Yep. So let's do our final set of predictions here. Let's do some award predictions here, Mr. Rogers. Let's start us off here. Most valuable player. That's the one everyone always looks for every year. Who do you have win an MVP? You kind of did you teased to it a little bit, but let's see who you had.
Yeah, I think, Joey B. I mean, how can you not? Especially if they're going to have a year that I think they're going to have. How can you not pick Joey B? I guess another sleeper pick that no one's really talking about. Honestly, it's kind of slipping under the radar. And if they have a really good season, I honestly think it could be Lamar Jackson. He could have a very good year as well. With the additions of that team.
Remind me what Jackson's odds are again.
Lamar Jackson's plus 1,400.
Yeah. I think that's worth sprinkling a little money on just because,
Yeah. Some would say, but I'm not a gambling man.
No, you're not. I have no problem saying that. I have no problem saying that. I would 1,000% sprinkle a few bucks on that. But yeah, that'll be interesting.
I mean, usually the favorite does not win, which is Joey B. Matter of fact,
is he okay?
He is. Some have him, I think, 600, 650, right behind Patty Mahomes. Which, I mean, how can you not pick Patty Mahomes?
Right. Fun. I have Josh Allen. I know he's been a guy that the last couple of years, a lot of people have picked him to win MVP. I think this is the year he does it. I think the last 8 games or so of the regular season last year was not great. I think he had through 10 picks. His QBR was 82, 83. Really struggled down the stretch in the regular season. Now, obviously, they did what they did, get into the playoffs. Great for them. But Allen really struggled the tail end of the season last year. I think if he has a full season where he doesn't, which I think he very well can, need to keep Stephon Diggs happy, and to do that, he's going to win MVP. So I have Josh Allen, Wyoming boy. Congrats. Offensive player of the year. I think this one is very interesting. I think you could go a few different routes with this. This is actually the only one that I left blank in my predictions because I was going to wait until the absolute last moment to pick someone because I've been going back and forth the whole time. But I am going to go with Jamar Chase to win Offensive Player of the Year. I think that if he didn't get hurt last year, I think he could have very well been up in the Justin Jefferson, Tyreek conversation as far as what they were doing offensive production wise. Missed a few games, so that hurt him a little bit. But no secret, that's Joe Burrow's guy. That's his guy. And I think he's going to take that home. I think he could easily go Christian McCaffrey, could go Tyreek, go Justin Jefferson. There's a lot of guys you could go for this one, but who did you have Offensive Player of the Year?
Well, I would say welcome aboard because I also had Jamar Chase.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the double Bengal, where they're going to have they're going to have an amazing year. Obviously, health, is a huge thing, but I think those two are going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun year for the Cincinnati offense. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Yeah. Very excited. Defensive Player of the Year. Who'd you have for that?
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to do what you did with Offensive Player of the Year. Now I'm going to ask who you had first because I had a few different guys, so I kind of want to hear your take it first.
Sure, sure. I think there are a few different guys that you could definitely give this award to. For me, and maybe this is for the sake of my predictions too, they're going to need this guy to be what I think he can, and that's Micah Parsons. I have Micah Parsons being Defensive Player of the Year. I think he does so much for that Dallas defense in so many facets of the game. He's got a motor that doesn't ever turn off ever, and he's a very fun player to watch on the defensive side of things. And if Dallas, like I said, if they're going to be as good as I have them predicted to be, a massive, massive, massive reason of that is going to be Micah Parsons on the defense. So I have him.
Yeah, I was thinking Micah Parsons as well, but I mean, I did pick Dallas to be third in the division, so
Sure.
I think I'm gonna have to go uh, with Nick Bosa. I
Sure.
think he's gonna play this year, obviously. I
Right.
think he's gonna have a tremendous year. Hoping to get where T.J. Watt was. Wasn't he half a sack away from breaking the
Yeah.
record, tying the record?
Yep.
So I think he's going to have one of those years, especially in that division.
Not a bad pick by any means. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I feel pretty confident in Bijan Robinson. I feel pretty confident in him winning that award. If someone else comes in, congrats. I think it's Bijan Robinson's award to lose, and I would think you probably agree with me on that one.
I agree, but I did decide to go a little different this route to maybe give a
Okay.
sleeper pick. I'm going to say Jahmyr Gibbs. I
Okay.
have him in pretty much every single fantasy league and dynasty league thinkable. So I guess I'm more hopeful that he does really well. But I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs, offensive player of the year. I think the pass catching ability is going to be off the charts, and I think the Lions offensively should be really high in the offensive ranks.
He outstanding player. I think that's someone that I'm very excited to see how his career goes. Very excited to see. Good job, Detroit. Good job, Detroit.
Yeah.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who'd you have for this one?
This is, I mean, I think Will Anderson is
Sure.
kind of the obvious choice. But
But you
again,
don't want to be obvious.
I don't want to be obvious. I love me some Christian Gonzalez, but again,
Okay.
it's hard to win Defensive Player of the Year at corner.
Right.
You're gonna have to, quite a few interceptions, forced fumbles, and possibly a couple of TDs. So it should be an uphill battle for him. But I mean, Will Anderson should probably do it.
Yeah. I have Will Anderson. Spoiler alert there for that. For the Dolphins' sake, I hope Christian Gonzalez doesn't do anything. I don't think that'll be the case. I think he'll be a very good player. I think he'll be a solid player. But I have Will Anderson again, offensive rookie. I feel both of those are pretty consensus locks for a lot of people as far as both of those awards go. Things could change, but we'll see. We'll see. Coach of the year. I went Mike Tomlin on this one. I think there's a few different candidates you could go for this route.
Oh,
I think Dan Campbell, you can make a strong argument for him. I think you could make a strong argument um, for Pete Carroll again in Seattle. I think there's a lot of guys you can make very solid arguments for, but I think Mike Tomlin's going to do it. I just think he's got such a young team, and they were a very competent team last year, and they didn't miss out on the playoffs. Or sorry, not a very competent team at some points with the offense.
yeah.
They didn't miss the playoffs by a whole lot. And a lot of that's tribute to Mike being a great coach. So I think he wins it this year. What do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I had 5 names written down. Like
Yeah,
it's so up in the air. It's pretty crazy. I think Dayball, he deserved it last year, a lot. But one that
mhm,
I think that should have gotten it was Doug Peterson. What he's done in Jacksonville,
sure.
and T-Law, I mean, it's night and day.
Yep.
I think Robert Saleh as well. I mean, if the Jets do meet expectations and exceed expectations, I think Robert Saleh has a good chance
Yep.
of the quick turnaround of that roster and being relevant. I guess more of sleeper picks, I guess. Sean Payton as well, because I mean, who knows in Denver? I mean, if it's if they're second in the division and have a very good record, I mean, Sean Payton could very well be Offensive Player of the Year, or excuse me, Coach of the Year. But another one, Bill Belichick. Everyone's counting out the Patriots. I mean, if they make the playoffs and their defense is extremely good, I mean, you could probably possibly see Bill in that conversation as well.
I agree with that big time. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think this award is the most up in the air. Like you said, you have 5 names listed. I probably had about the same too for that. It'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun one to see. And then comeback player of the year. I mean, got to be DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
Got to be DeMar Hamlin. If anyone else wins that, I mean, I would be thoroughly shocked.
I completely agree. That's who I had as well. I think, yeah, he should win there.
Yep. Well, that's all we have, folks. Tyler, is there any other football pieces, any other NFL pieces, things that you thought would be fun to bring up, to mention, or whatever? Basically, the ball's in your court right now, brother.
Yeah. Well, again, don't sleep on the Patriots.
Yep.
Mac is still the guy. I mean, we waived Zappy, so I mean, Mac is still a guy.
Interesting.
I will lay in that bed. I think Mac is the guy. It's going to be a very good year. Super high in the Bengals. I honestly think the Bengals are going to do it. Last year, the Bills were my team of I just thought the Bills, they're going to do it, and I think Josh Allen's going to win MVP easily, and I couldn't have been more wrong. So, I mean, Cincinnati, they went into Buffalo and I mean dominated. So it should be a very fun season. I guess go Patriots.
Absolutely. Every season for NFL is a fun one. Baseball is my sport. I love baseball, and I always will. But something different every year about football. I don't know, but I'm very ready for football to start. Just with everything going on with it, I love it. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see what the Dolphins do this year. Like we've mentioned, it's going to come down to Tua. Tua's healthy. I think Dolphins are a very good football team. If he's not, I don't know. I love Tua. I want him to do well, but if he can't stay healthy, I don't know, man. It's tough decisions, but good thing I'm not the one making them. Good thing I'm not the one making them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But anywho, folks, thanks for listening. So if you want, Nick obviously was not able to join us, but I will give y'all his Twitter handle. It's at Doetkott. Myself at Lucas_Dorton. If you want to follow the podcast on Twitter at DND_podcast, capital D's and P for that one, folks. And just like Tyler, if anyone would like to come on the show at any point, anytime, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to have different people on here. We would definitely love to have Tyler, you come back again some other time as well too. Thank you for coming, and I hope you had a good time with it.
Yeah, it's a great time. Always a great time. Talking football, and it should be a fun season.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, folks, thank you very much for listening to episode 72 of the Dorton and Doetkott Debate podcast. As for myself, Nick, and Tyler Rogers, until next time, we are out.